I mean, it's only it's not only about your own attitude and impression. It's about to try to really understand the person. I mean, not only your imaginable not only your imagination about it, only your emotion, and it's your emotion together with a real a character that you really try, you have to do your best to understand. Yeah, so I keep on. This is still, I mean, I make a little comment about the character. This is a story about the teacher, director of a theater director, and the teacher of how to speak on the stage. Her name is Irina, and this is Nadezhda. She was teacher of ballerines, and here are the pictures that represent her at work and also at home, her family. And this is a piano teacher and a pianist, and in her own environment. So this is one project that I did for almost 1 year. I did it, or maybe I did some pictures before, then I started the project and I made more. So I mean, if it's a deep story of somebody, like to represent all the sides of the life, you have to spend with this person many months first to get familiar with it, first to get closer and to have a connection, and afterwards to capture in a different moment, in a different situation. So another series that I did is Italian one, and here it is, I call it One Day Stories, but it's also documentary stories, but they are less and not so deeply connected like the other one, because I mean, here I made the representation only of the professional part, so I didn't integrate in the life of the person. I didn't count their families. I didn't count their everyday lives. I was only speaking about and representing their artistic and craft things that they are doing. So but in this case, you need to make a connection. You need to make a good relationship. It's not so intimate like a previous one, but it still need to be in touch with these people. So yeah, I had it was very interesting to meet so many people. Some of them are artists, some of them are making the artisans. They are making crafts, repairing the old furniture, making jewelry, painting, making sculptures. So it was a very interesting to communicate with them and to really see the processes that they are doing, their work. So that was very exciting, and that was very inspiring. I'll continue speaking about communication because I think that I already told everything about my own project. So I guess that, yeah.
I just wanted to say I love your photographs and the richness that they hold and some of the simplicity of the everyday tasks that these people were doing in their work. I just think there's just a richness to it, and you can see that they're speaking to us as an audience too through their work.
Yeah, because when I'm making this kind of reportage, documentary portraits, like I call it documentary portrait, and I interact with them, they are speaking to me, and I try to capture this situation. So when you watch the photographs, you also feel this connection with the characters. And I'm very glad that you said it, so it means it worked out. Thank you. As it's written here, I think that photography and communication are two friends who support each other. What does it mean? It means that, first of all, photography may help to interact with others. Like, I mean, if you notice somebody like around an interesting, outstanding person, a person that attracts your attention, and you want to, or you already meet this person, you want to know it better, it can be a good pretext to know the person better, to ask to make a photographic session, because it helps you to really learn about a person, what you like to learn, and also to represent it to others. So most of the models, the characters that I found like this, or among friends of the friends, or even online. It can be that you can see a very expressive personality, and you want to give your own vision to it. So with a camera, you can basically come to anybody and to say, let's work together. I mean, I need your type for my artistic project, and so on. So you can meet also a lot of interesting people like this. And the opposite, when you are communicative, you can easily find these people to make your artistic projects, not only in photography, but in general, networking. It's very connected all together. Now also we have a possibility of sharing, a lot of possibility of sharing, and this helps the connection, because we psychologically feel that we are connected by showing around our pictures, our images of ourselves, of our life, of somebody else, and we are receiving a feedback, a lot of feedback online. We feel like we are not alone, something like this. And the other thing, that it's an international language that everybody can read. So when you post a picture, and if you make an exhibition, people of all the cultures, they may understand it. And of course, everybody will understand it in their way, depending on their taste, depending on their culture, depending on their visions of life. But you can read it. You can read it visually, and you can have this message. So I think it's great. It's a great thing of photography. Okay, now I want to speak about the how it's changed, how it was before the photography and how is it now. So the two typical pictures of the past and of the present. Okay, so this is how it was before upstairs and how it's now. Before it was the cameras were big, difficult, and expensive. So you had in the past, it was very you had to be very rich to have to be able to get a picture, and also to have the camera. So now it's very easy. We have little devices for making pictures, a little bigger, a little more. I mean, we have smartphones, we have mirror cameras, but anyway, it's much smaller than before. So, and there are ways to make pictures also in a very economical way. So it's now available almost for everybody. Hello, I see new people arriving. Nice to meet you. Okay, so and now we are not limited in our shots. So in the past, we had to. It was a film, and the film was quite recently actually, and it was limited. Now it's unlimited, and now everybody can make pictures. They have pictures, and I remember, as far as I know, or even the people of my age, if they are from a little places, from the villages, when they were children, they may not have their pictures when they are little, because it was still less available than now. And now everybody can do that. So
it's kind of interesting if you think about it. If you think about that there may have been generations of families who, when they were young, who we don't have any photographic record of, because it was just not available. And you have to wrap your mind around that because everything's so accessible now, right? And the other thing I thought about too from then to now is it seems like some of the old pictures that I'm looking at, nobody is smiling, right? Everyone looks very serious and studious in their facial expression. Is that because they had to hold the pose for so long in order to capture themselves that they just couldn't smile for that long?
Probably yes. In the past, but no, I've seen a lot of retro pictures, and they are different. That the classical one, the family one with the very serious faces, and but they are some also some pictures more funny. Probably the people who could afford it, they were going to the photographic studios and also for fun, making friendly pictures. And there were also collages, a funny one also made in that time with a handmade. And so yeah,
very interesting.
Of course, nobody was photographing their cups of coffee every morning. Like now.
I know that one was like picturesque from Instagram, and it's like, okay, they weren't capturing what they ate that afternoon, right? It was too expensive.
Yeah. So now it is totally different. So in the past it was only precious moments, like special ones, very rarely just for fun. And now it's every little pretty thing you see, and every but it's not bad, but it's just a difference, So you see a beautiful flower, beautiful cat, you see, or something ugly but funny. I don't know. No, you capture everything. You capture your reflection in the mirror. You capture,
We're over capturing,
yeah. So, and in the past, it was more for yourself, for your family, for your future children, grandchildren, for friends of the family who are coming for a cup of tea to watch the album, And now it is more for strangers. It's like it's more for not for you, but for outside. It's for sharing more than for yourself usually. I think so. But of course also for yourself, but it's more focused on what the other people think. Like you want to get you want to get a feedback, you want to get a like, you want to get a comment. So as I already said, it keeps us less lonely, more connected. So and if in the past the photography was more very complicated, you had to know how this machine works. Now you can have devices which you don't need to learn. You just need one finger, one button, and it works. And some are, as far as I know, there are photo cameras that can react on your expression and make a shot or something like this. So there are a lot of new devices, very easy ones. So, okay, some examples of the photography that we are making with the smartphones. And so these are little things that we like to keep for a memory, but I mean, it's not something that the people of the past would photograph with their cameras. So okay, these are advantages and disadvantages, of course, of these new transformations and technologies. So first of all, yes, that's great that we can capture everything and unlimited. We can go around. We don't need to stop ourselves from taking all the shots that we want. But like this, we get gigabytes of junk photos. We have gigabytes of the pictures that we don't have time to delete. Our hard disks are full, and it can happen that we don't even have time to watch all that we photographed. So this is a huge amount of things that maybe you never put in order. Another thing is that great that we can share, but now sometimes we are exaggerating with the presenting in a virtual space and with absence in real life. So we may stuck to the phone and don't notice the things that are happening around offline. Yeah, I don't say that. I mean, it's something that you need to balance. But I mean, the advantage is that you can really be in touch with with the people you want to be in touch, even if they are distant physically from you. This is a great thing. Yeah, but also we need to find always a time for ourselves, for our offline lives, certainly. Um, Another good thing is that economically it's very available now, and the disadvantage is that now we are often accepting a low quality. So a lot of people don't see the difference between the good and bad picture, and some people see, but anyway, still for some reasons they can accept a lower quality photograph. Even I can accept it, because sometimes I understand that I can capture something with a phone and I'm not ready to go and to bring my mirror camera to photograph this flower. And I do it with a phone. And a lot of people, they really don't see the difference now between good and bad. And it's bad for photographers, because photographers are losing their job now, because the new technologies, they give a lot of possibilities to make a normal photo, even if you don't learn, if you didn't study how to do it. You have an applications, you have a smartphone with good cameras and one button, and you have a lot of presets, filters, applications to edit it. So it is, for photographers, it's not so good. And another thing is, yeah, now we have a lot of freedom of self-expression, self-promotion. We don't need to go on a special show on TV to show around yourself. You can go make an account online. You can have followers. You can post everything on the platforms, online platforms. But there are a lot of people like this now. There are floods of content and floods of publicity and very high competition. So to be seen in all this amount of people, it's a bit complicated. Yeah. Another phenomenon that I want to mention is the FaceTime photography, which is a typical new genre for this pandemic period that we have. It is something that professional photographers was also doing during pandemic, during the lockdown. And I also did it a little bit, because first I didn't take it serious because it's really poor technically. It didn't give a good quality image, but it is in a way from the documentary and from a artistically point of view, it's quite interesting. So you are basically do the opposite thing. You are entering from the virtual to the real space of somebody to capture the environment of this person. It's very, very, I think it's something intimate. It's something very realistic. It's a realism. So, and you use the laptop or a smartphone screen instead of this camera viewfinder. And your model is controlling it, not you, because she or he has this device to do it. So it's a really interesting experience that I think a lot of people during pandemic, they tried it. And as a photographer, and I tried it also as a model, and it was special, because you are in a different the virtual and real space, but you have this connection. So now I want to speak a bit about illusionary communications and the symbols of photography. These are the things which are, we are forgetting very often now, because we have a lot of visual content, and we sometimes can confuse the reality with a picture that we see. We can often take it like a real story. Like we see a blog with a lot of pictures, beautiful ones, and we try to think that this person has an absolutely beautiful life, and I also want like the life like this. But I mean, it's an illusion, because okay, maybe he has a beautiful life, but maybe just see the beautiful fragments of this life, show it, to have this illusionary perfect life to show off. and to show around. And we are starting to think that somebody is living better than us, but before thinking about it, you should really remember yourself, this is just a selection. So yeah, what I want to say is that now we all have these parallel virtual lives. Somebody is more active online, somebody is less active online. It's not a bad thing to do, because it can inspire, it can give ideas. It can, the beautiful picture reacts. We react when we watch the beautiful, well-made picture with good color correction, composition, and we don't consciously understand that this is a good color correction composition. It's subconscious thing. So we can get inspired, we can get in a good mood, we can maybe have this creative idea to represent some our ideas in a similar way. So I mean, it is inspiring, but we just need to be a little more remember that this is a pretty picture. It's not a real life. So, and what I wanted to say, yeah, another thing is that now we are mostly getting the content with a picture more than with the text. We became very, very, very impatient. And like I mean, in general, yeah, so somebody more, somebody less. So I don't say that, you know, all the people stop to read. And so, but now I think we are slowly coming to the point that the mind, for our mind, it's more easy to read the picture. As I said before, is good because it's international and a lot of people can understand it. But the picture often gives us information more faster, and we accept it more faster and easier than from the long read, because we don't always can read the long read. And when we are scrolling, our eye is capturing first of all the pictures. And also I've seen a lot of times on Facebook, for example, like people are they're writing something and they add a picture and they comment a picture to attract your attention. So this is how the communication works now. So if you want to get more attention, you need to represent the information also with a picture, so more people will read it. So usually it is, I mean, it can be superficial when we're just scrolling and liking something, but it really attracts more attention now, the picture. And also the short videos that now are famous, I think it's more like a picture that is moving, like in Harry Potter, than the video, because this is something also short that we can capture very easily. Another funny thing is the pictograms, emoji, and stickers, because now we want to visualize also the text, so we can personalize the stickers. There are special programs. You can take a photo, you can make a sticker and add it into text, into message. Instead of a simple like, you can make an emoji with your face, with your expression, a sticker with you from your photo with certain emotion, and it's quite funny also. And this is something new that we have. Okay, another important for me also question is that if we still need a professional photographers in the modern world. Well, of course, I try to defend it. I try to say that
I would say yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, a lot of people are telling me that okay, not a lot maybe, but I hear quite often that probably photographers are really about to lose the job, because I have heard that, I mean, soon your job will be not useful because everybody can do everything without photographers. Nobody will need your service anymore. You have to learn something else. So, but I don't want to accept it. And I mean, I'm ready for everything, but don't want to accept it. And I don't agree, because I think that first of all is a vision, and it is a sense of taste and understanding of. So as it's written, I think that it's always good to have both fast and slow photography. Like I call it fast and slow. Fast is the one that you can do by yourself for a social network with a smartphone, and slow is something that is prepared, well made, with a professional camera, with a professional light, with a good high quality, with a high resolution. And this, maybe you will not post it every day and do it every day, but sometimes you do it, and you can also use it for online, and you can use it for print, and you can use it for also for the memory and for yourself. So it makes sense from my point of view. And then, of course, professional photographers, the people who are learning everything. They're learning technical part, they're learning the physics of light, shadow, composition. They have an artistic taste, and so their pictures, professional ones, they are inspiring. You can watch, you can learn, you can interpretate. So I think that, and also communication as a work with a photographer. When you work with yourself, you have your vision of yourself. It's always different from the vision of the others. And it's also can be useful. When I was studying photography, I remember that we were told that it's useful to make self-portraits. But when you work only with yourself, you don't have this collaboration, you don't have this creative exchange. And when you work with a photographer, you communicate with the other artist, and you can have another reflection of another person on yourself, on your life, if you are a model. Yeah. And so you can see it from the other side, you can see another vision, so it will be anyway different from the one that you do. So I think it makes sense. I'm defending my profession. So what to do for your creativity? Now I'm going to give advice, but it's my opinion. It's my opinion what is written here, that I got from my own experience. And what would I suggest? It's first of all, if you are a creative person, a photographer, artist, it doesn't matter. So if you're a creative person and you have doubts, you hesitate, you don't know if you are still be needed because of technologies, and because there are a lot of people around who are also doing art, just focus on yourself and what you want to say. Like, of course, you have to study basics, you have to study rules, like watch the classical art, learn rules of composition, watch the paintings, watch all photography. And of course, creativity basically maybe have no rules, but if you want to break them, you need to know them. I think so. So like this, you can also the most important one of the most important thing of learning classical art is that it will help you to develop a good sense of taste, so you don't confuse a good and a bad content anymore. And of course, you have to follow trends. If you are in a creative field, learn the trends, and even if you don't like them, just to understand what is it and why other people may like it. Why is it trendy, and why do you like or don't like it? So it's an important, useful question to ask yourself. Then, of course, use critical thinking when you see everything around, all the pictures, to choose to which content dedicate your time. And of course, to remember, as I said before, that not the picture is not a real life, and the facts that you can see online, you can also check. You have to check them also. So don't compare. This is the one of the, I think, most important thing for creative people. Don't compare. I mean, don't compare in a way that who is better, who is worse. Oh, I see a lot of people who are making pictures better than me. Oh my God, there are so many, and I will never be, successful or something like this. This is a bad idea to think so, because yeah, that it's a really now internet and the world is full of people who are doing the same art as you are doing, and if you will continuously compare yourself, it will bring you down. Just focus on yourself and express your own of course you have to work on yourself. You have to boost your skills, you have to try to make it better and better, but focus on self-expression. And as it's written also here, like, study yourself, study your thoughts, your feelings, your values. Ask yourself questions about what you like, what you want. Ask yourself, what do you want to show and why do you want to show? And the art is, first of all, a reflection of yourself, a reflection of us. It's not a technical thing. So it involves the technical technologies, technical part, but it's first of all a reflection of us. So everybody is individual and they make everything in their own way. If you follow the trends, try to personalize them, or just feel free to offer something completely new if you like it, if you feel like it. So this is how the new trend started. Somebody just did something new. So don't copy, don't go mainstream, don't be try to really personalize it and analyze if you want to go this direction or the other. And of course, it's better to get some practical skills. And if you are a creative person, it's always useful to learn something else, uh, like, soft skills, languages management, technical skills, maybe profession that can support your creative part. They can go together with your creativity and help you with your projects. There are, there are two categories of people. One are saying that you have to focus on one thing in your life and do it all the time and don't do anything else. And the others that say, like, learn everything, try everything. So I think it's better to find some good balance between first and second, like not to only do something one, but not spread your attention too much around. Just maybe you can choose a few directions, they are crossing each other, so you can be a more or you can, for example, switch from one to another, not to get tired of one type of art or job. So this is also useful. And the most important thing is, of course, you just need to believe in yourself and believe in your creative goals and dreams. And it's never too late to do what you want. And you don't need to give up. You don't need to lose the hope that you do something. Like, just believe in yourself, believe in your creativity, and go on. And yeah, go on. So
That's actually a beautiful message. And I think, it starts with just having a dream or a thought or a wish, and then planting those seeds and seeing where it takes you. And through your career, what are the latest? I have two questions. What are the latest trends? Have you seen any that you sort of resonate with, or for surely don't resonate with? And the second question is, was there a special photograph in your life, or maybe it's one that you saw, or maybe one that you took, that directed you on this path? Or did you always have this wish or desire to do photography and capture moments of life?
okay, I'll start with the second one because I remember it better. So I actually had my first passion in life was music. So I think I came to photography much later, when I was occasionally, when I became a student, and at some point somebody gave me a camera. So I got a camera by occasion, and I started to capture. And I think that what really, I think this exactly was the fact that it was available, a digital camera, and I really wanted this. I was very much attracted to the possibility of a fast capturing of reality. I was in university, I started to do a little bit design, and I was still thinking what I want to do actually. And so I came to the photography because I was really excited about the fact that I can capture the pieces of reality in a fast way immediately when I see it, all the beautiful things around. And this was really exciting for me. I think it was not a photograph that I've seen. I think it was the understanding of what I want, what I would like to be able to do. And this is how I started to do it. And then I focused very fast on the portraits, because I realized that most of all I want to really capture the people, emotions, and of course then I started to learn photography, to learn about photographers, and I don't remember there were a special picture that I captured, or the special picture that reflect me. I think there were several. Of course, I was inspired by Enrique Cartier-Bresson, for example, who, with his street photography, I was inspired by Annie Leibovitz as a fashion and also documentary photographer, because she was doing also documentary. And of course, I was inspired by when I've seen a very old picture of also my family archives, how they well made, and so there were many photographers that, when I was going to the exhibition afterwards, I was exiting very inspired. So yeah, so then I started to do a studio, and I started to do everything. So yeah, this is
one thing led to the other.
Yeah. So I don't even remember there was this flash, or it was a slow process.
Yeah. And the second part of the question was, in your profession today, are there any particular trends that you have gravitated to, or on the other side have definitely not gravitated to? I'm not familiar with the trends out there, so I don't know, but
I did not understand this question very clearly, maybe because I didn't learn English for a long time. So probably
no, your English is good. You gave an example of FaceTime photography, which I had never heard of. So that was kind of trending, right? That's sort of something that people got into. Was there something like that you have seen that you've gravitated to? Maybe it's just the FaceTime photography, or maybe there's something you don't like, but you see a lot of people doing it.
Some trends that I don't like.
Yes, or maybe some that you do like.
And some that I do like. Okay. Both. Well, I am I'm quite an old-fashioned person in general, so a little bit. So, but what I don't like is I don't like a duck face selfies. I mean, nothing personal, because I know maybe some friends of mine, they're doing that, and it doesn't mean that I feel that I think of them that they are bad people, but
of course not.
I don't like a duck face photography. I mean, I don't like why the people are doing that, usually girls, but not only. So and I mean, I don't like this kind of selfies in general, because usually they are done with a lens which is not good for photography. The smartphone lens is distorting the face and distorting the body. I mean, it makes this distortion. And so, I mean, a mirror selfie is better. I mean, it's more, at least it's more proportional. And I did not yet capture this trend of short videos. I'm not into that. I did not get the point, and maybe I should. But I mean, I theoretically I understand what is it that it exists, but I'm not into that, and I don't see, for myself, I don't see the point to do that and to follow, to watch that. I don't know why. So, and the other trends, well,
Have you seen any that you liked?
yeah, I personally like, as I said, FaceTime photography. I like it. I really like it because I've seen the professional photographers, they were how they were doing that. But first I was very skeptic. And when it started, I say, of course, it came to my mind immediately when it started the lockdown. Say, how will I work? Like maybe I should make photos with of the screen of the computer. But then I said, oh, but it's a stupid idea. It will be a terrible quality. Nobody wanted. Like, and then I've seen a lot of some friends of mine, professional photographers, very good ones, how interesting was the photos that they have made. And also I decided to try. And first I even tried to do it with a real camera. Like I was taking my mirror camera and photographing the monitor. And of course there were like this, there were more digital noise of the screen, but it was like a more real experience. But afterwards I was also doing print screens. With the print screens you have less digital noise, but you have with the camera you can even play with the angle, you can capture the frame of the computer, can make some artistic things. And like this you can just make print screen, and it's yeah,
it's very interesting.
I really like this trend.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And like you said, in a documentary kind of way, it marks a passage of time that we've experienced. And that's the reality. I mean, that's our reality. So I think it's quite interesting. Traian, do you have any questions or thoughts or comments before we wrap up our discussion? I know you see a lot of capturing of imagery in your work as well.
I'm very passionate into photography. One of my, let's say, just hobbies. No comments, no, because the presentation was really extraordinary.
Thank you.
Really, really. And about presentation, I don't know how to say, but I will put another question, because when I attended the faculty, when I was, let's say 25 years ago, we learned to make photos with, let's say, non-digital, with the old cams. A lot of photographers told me, professional, 20 years ago, when digital started to appear, no, digital won't be never like photocam with film. They changed their ideas. Now it's, by the way, in the past, it was the pleasure to, let's say, to make the work after you make the photo, to put the film in the dark room and so on, Now it's easier, but it's easier, but not easy. What is for, even you told us a lot of interesting things, but in your opinion, now also some good photographer told me, if you have a good mobile phone, not only digital cam, you can make very, very good professional or artistic photos. Which is the essence for you to make some artistic professional photos?
Well, while listening to you, I remember a few things to add about analog photography. And replying your question, yeah, well, I think that from the really important thing for nowadays is your own visions of life and creativity. So the technical device is not already so important, but of course, still for the quality, you don't make a picture as deep as, deep in the sense of as good as with a mirror camera or a film. So the digital device is like with music. Music had this transformation that we don't notice now, because first that it was a vinyl, it was much better quality. The sound was more, again deep, yeah. Then now with the MP3, with a smartphone, because I see the difference because I'm also very much into analog music. So and I accept the quality of the smartphone and the headphones that I portable ones, but I see the difference between this and a good analog sound system. And also with photography, I see the difference between a portrait filter on the smartphone and a aperture in the mirror camera. So I think that it's important. The technique is important for quality, but to give to represent your creative idea, you can use whatever you want. But if you can do both creative idea and a good technology, it's better. So it makes sense to study this. And actually, there is a new trend now that I forgot to tell you now, also to the previous question. And now a lot of people are they have smartphones, they have digital cameras, but they do they do analog photography. There's still a lot of people who do it as a hobby.
Oh, great, Olga. So it's a new trend. Sorry to interrupt. It's a new trend to be back to analog photography, also like in the music. For example, I love from Bach, Rachmaninoff, Tchaikovsky. I don't know. I love classical music, but on electronic music, I love Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis, all composers with analog. It's a special sound. So I'm glad. So is this trend to be back on analog with film?
Yeah. Well, it still exists in music for maybe a little amount of people. It still exists in photography. A lot of people, and there's also a Polaroid now famous that we can also. It's okay. It's different, but it's analog. It's what personally for me, what is important about analog art in general, also for design painting, is the tactility. With analog photography, with the Polaroid and with the film, you have this tactility. You have this. You can touch the result, and the digital have only the digital. It's also only visual. You don't use your other senses. And like this, you can smell it, you can touch it, and it's. I think this is a good. It adds more for your creativity and sense. Yeah.
I totally
and the whole experience.
Yes. By the way, I asked you because I learned to make analog photos in the very past, and I won't forget, of course. I gave up also to my digital photo cam due to smartphones. Okay, I'm not a professional photographer, but some professional photographers told me if you have creativity and a good smartphone, you can make some miracles. Okay. Better with a professional photo cam, but you make some miracles also with a smartphone.
Yes, you can. Creativity. Yes. I agree. You can, as I said, to represent your creative idea, you can do it with a smartphone. You can do it. I was in the past doing it also. I had a telephone with a camera that was, it was a very, very old telephone many years ago. And now these photos are like this. They're very little, but some of them, they had a good composition. They have an interesting information. Like, I could photograph the street and the house that was afterwards reconstructed and changed completely. So it's a kind of a documentary thing. So it can be captured some memorable moment. So yeah, if you have smartphone and you have a creative idea, do it with the smartphone. If you have a possibility to do it also with a camera, with a mirror camera, with an analog camera, great. Do it also with a camera. But if you don't have a good camera, do at least something. But it's always useful to ask yourself a question: why do you want to do it? For what? For yourself? For others? What idea do you have? Maybe you want to start a project. Maybe you want to use it to give some message. So usually this was what we were asked when we were studying, like, why are you photographing this? Ask yourself a question. Yeah,
that's a good question. Hey,
Спасибо.
Спасибо. Nice
Thank you, Tryon, so much. Okay, before we get to the top of the hour and we get cut off here because Zoom, you know how that is. So any parting thoughts for our young people or amateurs or experts that are watching now or will be watching in our future from you?
Like something inspiring.
It could be inspiring. It could be a parting thought. It could be, don't forget. Any final thoughts or words for today?
Yeah. Well, that's a few words of the last picture of my presentation that I did not read, but I think maybe already everybody already read it when it was on the screen. So like creativity, as I said, is first of all a reflection of yourself, and we are all unique, we are all different. So if you want to express yourself, if you want to make a creative project, don't look around, don't compare yourself, don't hesitate, just do it. Just learn, just find what you want to express and what you want to say. And it's always very personalized, and even your personal message, this is the most precious thing, and this is the unique one. And so you don't need to worry about that somebody else is doing the same thing, better or worse. This is yours, not better, not worse, this is yours. And so keep on doing that, keep on communicate, keep on try to see each other, try to understand each other, try to have a sincere interest to the world, to the life. Don't stop to be don't stop wondering, don't stop to be surprised. Keep on being keep on live with it, have an interest to life, live and express yourself and connect with each other and make art collaborations. It's always useful for creativity.
That's right. And keep on connecting, keep on communicating, no matter what your modality. Olga, I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you to everyone who's watching us on our social platforms and all of you that will be watching us in the future when we get this up. From all of us here at World Genesis Foundation, Atlantykron, we want to thank everyone for joining in these mini Atlantykron days. Thank all our amazing guests who continue to inspire us. And we want to say happy day to everyone out there. Wishing you a good one. Until we meet again. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Olga. Bye-bye, Heather.
Bye.
See ya.
For your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.